about the tea with golf. Right now, we are getting into the Big Six business. Yeah, the transfer window is open, and the Big Six are not sleeping at all. We are seeing people coming in and going. So my question maybe to Max right now, who do you think is doing good business right now?
To be honest,
Which
right
club?
now, I'll say all of them. The last two, three editions were here. We're not too sure about what Man United were doing, for example. But they've jumped into the fray so much so that now you're looking at them as having a favorable window where you didn't think they were. They've still done the business late and they're still overpaying. But for them to have talent like Matthias Cunha and then another in Brian Buemo, is for them to have done good business, and that on back of the fact that it looks like where it looked unlikely a couple of weeks ago, it looks like that they will add a proper goal scorer to that ensemble because when we were here last, we were talking about how Liverpool had done good business and done it quickly. They'd spent 100 million or upwards of 100 million on Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen, the young playmaker from Germany, and they'd got from the same team Emmanuel Frimpong, who will play at their right back to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's gone to Real Madrid. And we thought that Liverpool had done great business, but now they're in the market for Hugo Ekitike, another number 9. And looks like they're going to get him for a lot of money, upwards of 70 million pounds as well. And that is very good business for a team that were already champions. Yeah. But it became necessary for them, one, because of the unfortunate passing of Diogo Jota. So there's a hole to fill there. But also the uncertainty about the future of two of the six strikers we drummed up quite a bit last season. And that is Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz, Bayern Munich continue to pursue that one, and Darwin Núñez is somebody they're looking to offload to bring back some of the money they're spending because they will have spent close to 200 million pounds on just two players in Wirtz and Ekitike. So you thought that if the champions are doing that, if Man City did all the work they did earlier in getting Ryan Chucky in getting Tijan Reinders, in getting Ait Nouri at the back, in getting in, they've got in about 4 or 5 players, Man City. And you thought they did that business quickly enough for the guys to be able to play at the Club World Cup. So you thought if these teams which are much better than United are doing all this, and United is not, there's a big problem. So, but now finally, in the quality of the squad already being raised by just those two players, because when you have Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes and Matthias Cunha as the 3 guys behind your main striker, even if that main striker is one that misfires as Rasmus Højlund was doing last season, he's bound to get more chances and have a little more better fortune in front of goal than he did then. And that is if he stays as United's number 9, because Mark, they still talk that they could buy.
They've got to buy because United finished closer to relegation, and the teams above them are still better than them. They've reigned sport. They've been actually busier in terms of the actual deals which have been secured. Liverpool have signed a lot more players. Man City have been busy in the market. Spurs have been busy in the market. So United, as United are right now, I'm still not convinced that they've solved their goal scoring problems, and that was a very, very big weakness in the team. It's been for the last 4 or 5 seasons. So I don't think United have finished the business.
Sorry, they haven't finished.
They haven't finished the business because as they are right now, I would not put United on wouldn't put Man United finishing the top 4.
Top 4.
And yet that should be their target.
Their target. I think I agree back here, because when you say that, you're looking at United had their first preseason game against Leeds United, and ideally you're not supposed to read too much into that because it's only the first outing. It's supposed to be like a fitness drill, one in which guys come to pick up on their fitness after all the burgers and they've had and all the beach time, but also one in which, especially in United's case, where they were being introduced to a new system of play. A back 3 and wing backs and a front 3 and 2 and a double pivot, which was totally different from what they'd been doing for years. You want a preseason in there so you can get players used to a system, which is why because I watched the game and I saw that Ruben Amorim had actually changed an entire 11. And the second 11, because they had been with him mostly last season, but the Diego Dallos and Patrick Dogos and all know more about their roles within that system than the guys who started, because among the starters were two new players, including Matthias Cunha, who I just talked about, but also the young man Diego Leon, the Paraguayan, who was playing at left wing back. So they need to understand the system by using this preseason to do that. But yes, well, I agree with Mark. The goals, there was still a dearth of goals. There was still a worry that this team is not yet where they should be in terms of goal scoring. I mean, Cunha created a few chances for Obi, Chido Obi, the young striker from who they got in from Arsenal last season. And then when Rasmus Højlund came on, unfortunately, he didn't benefit from the creativity of Cunha and Bruno, because they'd been substituted. So he had to settle for service or the lack of it from the likes of Mason Mount. But you still believe that there were not enough chances being created and enough havoc being caused in that box. So Mark knows that we have a forum where I said, if United get that number 9 on top of Mbeumo and Cunha, I could put them ahead of Spurs to start the season as 6th behind Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea and Newcastle. And then they can kick on from there and get into that top 4 he's talking about, if actually those guys then go out and do the job. But they must get that number 9. Now, what has happened is there were links earlier to Victor Gyökeres, who was perhaps the best number 9 out there in Europe, waiting to be taken. That man has gone to Arsenal. The other team we haven't talked about as having done good business. Because Arsenal have got Gyökeres in, and they've got Gyökeres in, and they've got Martin Zubimendi into central midfield. They've got a backup goalkeeper, and they've got Noni Madueke.
And they got Norgard from Brentford.
For their defense. They've got Noni Madueke from Chelsea. Most Arsenal fans I've seen have actually ridiculed that signing. But it's going to work for them in better ways. Personally, I believe that, and I want to be on record that I think Noni Madueke will do a lot better for Arsenal than I think he's going to do so.
And listen, this is an Arsenal team which finished second in the Premier League.
Yeah.
This is an Arsenal team which actually competed very well in both legs against PSG. At no point did they
having knocked Real Madrid out of the tournament,
so
the Champions League.
I think they've been very busy in the market, and they are strengthening a very decent team.
I think, Mark, if you ask me, I think Arsenal actually, and I'll go on record on this as well, long before the season starts. The business they've done, and they could still also buy Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace, from what we've heard. I don't know where they're getting all that money from, or how PSL rules are allowing them to do that. But if they do it, Arsenal are good for one of the 2 major trophies this season, either the Premiership or the Champions League.
The Champions League maybe not, but the Premier League, yes.
Yeah, because it reminds me, because they are they're in a place where they can make that little extra step which Liverpool did in 2019 by winning the Champions League, and then 2020 winning the league after several years of underachieving, and after a few 5 or 6 years of Klopp putting a team together until it got there. I think Arteta is where Jurgen Klopp was in 2019, and I believe that Arsenal are good for one of those 2 major trophies next season. If they finish that business,
they'll be contenders for the Premier League. Definitely.
But I'll tell you, Mark,
the Champions League is still a long shot.
No, they can still win it. I think that all the teams that competed against PSG in the knockout phases, Arsenal were the closest.
But
with Liverpool even took them to a shootout. But I thought that Arsenal were a huge threat.
Mark,
and I think that there's just a few things to fall in place.
No ball has been kicked. But the fact of the matter is that PSG is very frightening, and I know they lost Chelsea.
It is.
But Arsenal would have to avoid PSG in the Champions League.
But Mark, just think about this Arsenal, the Arsenal options up front. You're talking about 3 places for which the fight will be between Gyökeres, Saka, and Madueke.
I actually think even for Arteta himself, even for Arteta,
and Leandro Trossard, and Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus, and
priority.
Come on,
the priority for Arteta is the Premier League. It's not the Champions League.
Yeah, but he's got.
I think if you had to win one of the 2, he
would take the Premiership. But I think he can't win it.
And no team, unless you're Madrid, no team goes out there to set their sight on the Champions League. And only Real Madrid have got the right.
Look, Mark, I'll tell you this. Arsenal are good for the title right now. Liverpool jumped the queue. Man City went off the boil last season. They got into some sort of transition, and one or two things happened. Unfortunate things happened for them on and off the pitch. And Arsenal should have been the ones next in there. Liverpool jumped the queue, and Slot did that. And I think that they will have problems in the second season, however high the standards are. And also that there's also a worry that you don't stay stagnant. Alex Ferguson used to talk about it and say, every time he won the league, he bought one or two more players just so he didn't stay stagnant.
Yeah.
Even if you're the best, you improve. But I think that Liverpool are toying with going from improvement to actually tampering with a winning team. You know where they say, if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it.
I've been
I
thinking,
think if they make too many changes right now,
and I'm waiting to see.
they'll have crossed the line where they're actually tampering with
I'm
the
waiting
winning
to see
team.
how Salah will fit in that team. I mean, alongside sorry, not Salah,
Vats and Ekitike and all, yeah. You cross a line where you're actually fixing something which is not broken. And so I worry about.
But about the thing you said, Mark, Liverpool last season, they suffered no misfortune.
Yes.
No injury, no bad luck, no nothing, and those.
So Slot is bound.
Something's bound to give.
The way I believe
Guys.
it, yeah, he's bound to suffer from second season syndrome. But I'll go back to that as I wind up. I'll go back to that Man United striker thing, Mark, you're saying. So they came from looking like favourites to sign Gyökeres because Amorim was his former manager and everything, to dropping down to Ekitike, somebody who spoke about how he's a childhood United fan and everything, who United never bid for, and now he's going. Newcastle and Liverpool are fighting. Liverpool have won the war. To being linked with the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, freed by Everton, and Jamie Vardy, who's freed by relegated Newcastle, Leicester rather, a man who's closer to 40 than anything, to now where they actually linked with Nicholas Jackson. Now, for me, that's a bit of a worry. Nicholas Jackson is surplus to requirements at Chelsea because they've bought João Pedro from Brighton and Liam Delap from Ipswich. So they've got two new number 9s, and Nicholas Jackson has fallen behind in the pecking order. Now, this is a guy who's a person people love to hate because of the chances. He's an enigmatic striker. He misses way too many chances, easy ones, that they're the ones which stick in your mind.
Nicholas Jackson misses when it's easier to score.
Yeah. He will miss a tap in from 0 yards out, but he can score a spectacular 40-yarder.
Yes.
He's enigmatic that way. But still, Mark, I'll tell you that
That's so funny.
all having been said, Nicholas Jackson still scores more goals than Rasmus Højlund or any striker United have. Nicholas Jackson is a nuisance. He causes problems to the back defenses a lot more than any of the United strikers and all. And on top of that, he's African. But to be honest, if United cannot get one of the people they want, I've heard about talk about Benjamin Sesko and all, I wouldn't mind too much. The problem, of course, is
Mark,
you can't go buying Nicholas Jackson for anything more than 40 million.
where is Alexander Isak going? Because he's had a rift with Eddie Howe. Isak, for me, is one person who's going to guarantee you 25 goals.
Yeah, that is sure. Closer to 30, actually.
Closer to 30. And no one is going to bully Newcastle. They're quite a rich club. But this is a guy who has been linked to Liverpool. He was at one time linked to Arsenal. Will he stay at Tyneside?
Liverpool turned his head, and they've messed up Newcastle in that sense. Because Liverpool went talking to this kid, and he looks at them as champions. Well, Newcastle also going to the Champions League, but he would go into the Champions League with a team of champions.
There's a lot of difference playing for Newcastle.
With guys who provide more, perhaps, than Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Wellington will do for him, and Anthony Gordon. And of course, the glamour of playing at Anfield and for Liverpool is totally different. We're talking about guys who are 6-time European champions and all the things. But, so they turned his head. So when Newcastle said we're not selling, then Liverpool went and to target Newcastle's other target was Hugo Ekitike. And so basically they've been messing up with Newcastle in there. But, what I would do though if I was Newcastle is to put my foot down and say to Isak, you're not going. The worst you can do is give me one more season, but I'm not selling because they definitely need him. They've lost Callum Wilson. They not have enough time in the market to buy somebody of that prolific.
Well, even
if they had the money.
They signed that on Elanga.
Yeah,
Alright, guys.
who's not a number 9,
Guys,
but who's a
guys,
very good
guys.
provider. Yeah.
When reach this topic, you guys never finish. You get taken. Oh, the excitement and the gossip is so sweet. I understand. But guys, thank you so much. This has really been informative. And yeah, this is Mark to Mark Sports Conversation, and with a difference. And we're always happy to have you guys view. Find time, drop a comment, a like, share the link. And yeah, let's keep in touch. Every week we'll be here. Thank you so much.